right, Cubs fam, Conquest is in full swing, and one of the biggest components of Conquest a lot of us are struggling through and trying to figure out are data discs. Well, I have been analyzing every single data disc in the game, and I've got a probably way too early top 10 ranking of the 10 best data discs in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes for Conquest mode. Go ahead and punch it, Chewie. All right, fam. Like I said, we're talking about Conquest data discs. This is one of the most impactful, exciting elements of the Conquest mode. I cannot possibly be more excited about data discs. There's been a lot of fun things to do with them, a lot of fun little loops that you can figure out. You can beef up your General Grievuses to levels you've never seen before, see Vader provide unlimited turn meter to your team, and so many other things with this. And so we're gonna go number 10 through number 1. This is a ranked list in order, my subjective opinion. It's very early, so tell me what your experiences have been and where you may disagree with me, and we can all debate down in the comments below. So let's start with number 10, Zealous Ambition. Now you can see here there are 3 different tiers of Zealous Ambition that you can explore. Right now, the blue tier is going to have a full 54% offense added, or 54% of your healer's max health added to their offense. Now, the reason why I'm ranking this a little bit lower is because there's a lot of maybe gaps in healers that this would benefit right now, but I'm picturing this in like a Cam team, a Ki-Adi-Mundi team. This could have some pretty serious damage implications coming in, especially when you stack these. And that's a big part about the data discs that I think a lot of people neglect, is that you can stack these things. And so while some of the higher ranking data discs are those 4-dot data discs, the purple ones that have some really crazy buffs, I'm not 100% convinced that those are the only data discs that are worth equipping. Some of these 1-dot and 2-dot ones, you can stack them and just get some insane buffs. So it's not just the single data discs, it's what their potential is when you equip several of those data discs, if that makes sense. So number 10 is again, we'll go over here. Number 10 is a Zealous Ambition. So number 9, Stacking Offense. Some of my personal favorite data discs in this game are those Stacking Offense data discs. I find them extremely exciting because they just take characters to new heights. Now check, there's offense stacking mechanics that I like a little bit more than this, but think about this right here, the stacking offense in a Jedi Knight Revan team or in a Padme team. Those teams where you're gaining so many buffs at the same time, 5% or 4% stacking offense every time, and then stack this data disc on top of itself 1 or 2 times, and you're gaining upwards of 8, maybe 12, maybe 15% offense for every time they gain a buff. That's going to add up fast, and towards the end of the battle, your team is just going to be unbelievably powerful. They're going to have unlimited power, dare I say. All right, let's get to the next one here. We have got Turn Meter Decay. Now, this is one I think a lot of people neglect because they're maybe a little more focused on the damage, etc. This is one that can really, really help you. Not just, keep turn meter under control, but also it can help you in those feats that are requiring you in those boss nodes to strip up to 700% turn meter in one battle. That can be difficult if you don't have like a Moff Gideon leveled up. This might be a very good way to do that because every single turn you take, every single time you're dealing damage, it's 5% turn meter. And notice, this is only 1 dot. So up to 8% turn meter for the best one. But even if you only have the 1-dot one, or the gray 1-dot, you could put 3 of those together, and all of a sudden you've got 15% turn meter being stripped every turn, every time you deal damage. That's going to add up fast, very, very fast throughout the course of a battle, and help you guys get those feats and just have a lot of control in the field of play, which I think is very important in those battles. All right, let's go to the next one. We've got look at this one. So we have got 11% health steal, and what I'm a little more interested in is the 11% defense penetration and the fact that this is 1 dot. I have been stacking the crap out of these on my roster. I think I've had up to 4 of these stacked, which gives me just insane defense penetration. I mean, if you've got the blue one here, 14% times 4 times 3, defense penetration is one of those stats that is very, very underrated. I don't think people realize how much damage will come out of your team when the defense penetration is ramped way up. I think this buff is very, very underrated and one of the better data discs in the game. All right, next up, Deadly Momentum. All allies have plus 30% shield penetration and gain 30% offense when an enemy falls below 100% health. And then the next bit, data disc effects that trigger when enemies fall below 100% health also trigger at 70% and 40% health. And so it's going to loop on itself. And you've got that shield penetration, which again is very solid, and 30% offense whenever an enemy falls below 100% health. Now consider that is not just going to be 5 times in a battle necessarily. If you've got teams that are healing, that may stack on itself multiple times. But even if it's only 5 times, 30% offense on characters like Anakin, characters like, oh gosh, Jedi Luke, characters like Rebels, Luke, Luke should be a Rebel. That's another subject for another day. Han, Chewie, etc. So much damage comes out of this. I think you'll notice a theme here. A lot of my favorite data discs are those heavy damage implicators that are in the game right now. There are so many data discs right now that can give you some pretty crazy damage, and we're going to continue talking about them. All right, number 5, Amplified Agony. Now, this is one to stack, my friends. Check this out. Whenever an ally inflicts a debuff on an enemy, they also deal 5.1 up to 8.6% max health damage to that enemy. Max health damage is where it is at, my friends. And if you stack that, if you're able to stack even just the lowest one, 5.1%, get 2 or 3 of those on, you're dealing up to 15% max health damage. Every time you inflict a debuff on an enemy, you're going to retch through that team super fast. It's going to take no time at all with all of that percentage damage. This is extremely valuable and a great data disc to use when you're getting stuck against high health teams. Some of these teams you got to check those modifiers that are on them. Some of them have up to 60% health added to them. This is going to help you chew through that like it's nothing. And so Amplified Agony, number 5 on our list. Number 4 is Leader's Resolve. Now, I think you guys are going to enjoy this one if you have not had a chance to take advantage of the sweet truth that is Leader's Resolve with a Grievous lead, okay? This is almost exclusively here because of what it can do to Grievous, but look at this. 66% max health added, along with max protection, 40% offense, and 20% speed at the low end. And then, of course, if you get the better one, 82% max health, 65% protection, 49% offense, and 24% speed. Now, think about the max health and the max protection, or the max offense that you're stacking on top of Grievous here right now. I've got 2 of these Leader Resolves. I put both of them on Grievous. Both of them were the green ones. I didn't find a blue one yet. That damage that Grievous was able to pull out was absolutely bananas. And there's other max health data discs you compare with these to just make your Grievous an absolute nightmare for enemies. This is where it is at. This is some of the most fun I've had with data discs right here on Leader's Resolve. I think it is phenomenal. All right, next up, deployable cooling systems. This might be, I think out of everything we've got, this is probably the one that is high, the one dot data disc that is the highest, I believe. And that is because you've got cooldown reduction, 10% up to 15%. You can stack those. So every time you gain a buff, you're resetting your cooldowns. This is broken, all right? This is broken. Just think about this in a Jedi Revan team. I saw a video on Reddit of Yoda doing Master Stroke, I think is his first special, where he gets an immediate bonus turn, and he just went the whole battle. He literally Master Stroked the entire team to death because he gained buffs, he stole the buffs, he reduced the cooldowns, and it's every buff. I believe every buff they gain, there's a 10% chance, a 15% chance, and so for Yoda copying all those buffs, he just resets his cooldowns and he just goes over and over and over again. It's broken. There's so many ways to reduce those cooldowns, and you can just use your specials on infinite loop. It's pretty fun. I would definitely recommend giving this one a go. All right, next up, we have got Booming Voice. Now, all of you Vader fans out there, I want you guys to pay close attention to Booming Voice. Oh, spoilers. I accidentally clicked. Well, Massively Overpowered is number 1. We'll talk about that in a little bit. I'm a professional, I promise. So Booming Voice, when an allied unit is in the leader slot, when the allied unit in a leader slot uses an ability during their turn, all other allies are called to assist. Picture Darth Vader with Booming Voice in the leader slot, and he uses Merciless, and it's Merciless. Everyone attacks. It's Force Crush. Everyone attacks. Saber Throw. Everyone attacks. Every single person will assist. And notice here, when it says all allies are called to assist, it does not say dealing, a percentage damage less than they normally deal. They just all assist. It's insane. This one is amazing. This one actually has a case for number 1, but in my opinion, it's massively overpowered at number 1. If you see this, buy it. You're gonna want it. After an ally has gained 10 buffs, they gain the massively overpowered effect for 1 turn, which can't be copied, dispelled, or prevented. And massively overpowered, the next time this unit uses an ability during their turn, they also deal massive damage to that enemy. So it is not just dealing massive damage. It's not like you gain an extra ability, you deal massive damage. Massive damage in and of itself, there's a lot of characters that's not necessarily the most useful against. But it's on top of what you're already doing. It's adding 99,999 damage to whatever you do already. This is crazy. And there's so many teams that can gain 10 buffs like that to a point where basically every single ally is dealing massive damage. Every single ally. And so every turn you get, you're adding 100,000 damage on top of it for all 5 turns that you take, because you're going to gain those 10 buffs super fast. This is amazing. In my opinion, best in the game, and a great data disc to use when you're in a pinch. The only caveat to both Massively Overpowered and Booming Voice, in my opinion, they cost 4 of those energy slots. Of their 4 dots, I actually prefer the 1-dot ones that you can stack on top of each other. I think there's a lot more that you can do with those, but these are just so OP in and of themselves that, of course, they're going to cost more to put on, and I think there's just a ton of implications for them. I have not been able to use Massively Overpowered myself yet. I haven't found it yet. I can't wait until I do, and once I do, I am going to get that thing and put it on right away and have some fun. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope this video was helpful for you. Lots of different data discs out there, and I'm sure they're going to add more. We'll keep analyzing them and talking about what the best combinations are, which ones to stack, etc. Lots of information still coming your way. We do got to talk about consumables as well. There's a lot of great consumables that we should be discussing as well. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, and tell me how you feel about Conquest. Drop a like on your way out, and as always, my brothers, don't forget,